Hello, 4Gaming community and Beyblade community as a whole. I really hope you're all doing well. I know it's been quite some time. It's been about 2 weeks since we did our last podcast. I want to apologize for that. And also, it's just me up here today. Mike and I, or Crisis Crusher and I, tried to do another podcast with his winning team at Michael Nightwing's last team event. And we did do the podcast, but unfortunately, the audio stopped recording after like 12 minutes. I thought I got the audio recorder back in, but it didn't work. So I apologize to Geester99 and Bobby Lawler and Crisis Crusher that didn't work out. Geester, man, I know I feel so bad because so many of the recordings that he has, he's on a lot, but also like they get messed up. But I wanted to do this to talk to the community, to kind of go over what's going on with the podcast, future things I have for the podcast, the circuit, as well as for gaming. So today, happy Father's Day and happy Freedom Day. I'm not going to take up too much of your time because it's just me talking. As far as the podcast goes, we took a little bit, or getting interviews isn't necessarily hard, but it's as far as getting the schedules to align for everyone to do them. So it'd have to be with myself, Mike, and then the interviewee. So to do that, at least for right now, because I mean, you all know we have the Beyblade community. The Beyblade community isn't incredibly large, but we're gonna work on trying to get more interviews. If you know anybody that you want us to interview or anything like that, like shoot us an email. If you want to get interviewed, you can always email me, reach out to Mike. We'll try to do the best that we can. And it's nothing to like, you have to have some big name in the Beyblade scene. We want to interview parents. We want to interview competitive bladers. We want to interview even, I mean, I think it would be really cool if we got parents to talk about why or why not they want to bring their kids to tournaments, some of the things they see from that aspect. Like that would be really cool to see what got them into Beyblade, how their kids are involved and how they look at it. Because my view, I'm involved in it in myself, is the same as Mike. So it'll be great to have someone else. So I want to try to do that. As far as my schedule goes, I'm going to talk with Mike. He doesn't even know I'm doing this right now, but I wanted to put something out for you all, so you know, so me and Mike can get something steady going. We probably still will take a break. This is something I had planned until the circuit comes, because a lot of the time is going into that. So I know that's like a month away, but then after that, we'll probably pick back up, and it probably won't be weekly. And I hope you all enjoyed the episodes thus far, but it probably won't be a weekly thing, just because our schedules are kind of tight and kind of hectic. All right. See, it's not the next topic, but I wanted to touch on a couple of things. One with Sniper's podcast. I don't know when we're going to be able to do a part two, but I wanted to speak on some things that he talked about. For one, with the New York scene. Sniper did shout y'all out. That is why for the Circuit Dark Continent, we're coming up there, because he asked that in the part of the podcast where it like kind of chopped off. He asked about coming up there and entering New York as the final state for Dark Continent. So that's what's going to happen, most definitely. We talked about some promotions for the WBO and networking with other YouTubers, ways you can get out into your local community by going to Target and things like that. And if you see somebody on the Beyblade aisle, just talk to him, spread the word, because that's the only way things are really going to grow. Our man Zector, he sent a question in because we asked about questions. And I know it's just me answering, but it would have been good, I guess, to get Mike's feedback on this too. But as far as, I think I may have asked him, I'm not sure, as far as launchers go, because you know there's no repeating parts in your deck. And I think Zector was asking about the power gear, or having multiple power gears. And that's, as far as I know, that's fully legal. I don't think it's something that the play team needs to look into or anything like that. The way I view the launchers. Like, as long as they're legal, honestly, I don't really mind. Like, I don't, to be completely honest, like, I don't even understand why there is even a limit on it, or just a single one for a single Beyblade. I guess because you need to have the skill, but I don't feel like if I go up there and I launch it like with the power gear and I'm like, oh man, that was a little bit too powerful, and then I want to switch to something that's a little bit less. I don't feel like less like a normal gear, or like a ripcord launcher. I don't feel like that's something that necessarily needs to be like dictated. I don't feel like it will give that much of an advantage by having the multiple launchers. Um, like multiple parts, like I can see that because you're pretty much just running the same combo. But that's just my thoughts, and I hope that answered your question or got in the general vicinity in it. I know you're able to, but you're only able to have a launcher for every specific Beyblade that you have. Um, Onto the circuit. So a lot of people helped me come up with the circuit and Dark Continent, or they helped me as far as structuring some ideas with it. Because I went back and forth with the FGC and things like that, and mainly I want to talk about for the new season for people who don't know. Either you're not on the WBO or you didn't see what I posted about the circuit going forward. It's going to work next year for Dark Continent. It's going to be strictly invitational. Um, it's not going to be open like it is this year, because the main goal, I wanted to have the circuit for competitive bladers. It's something that I feel like something that's similar to the anime, but also similar to other games. So it's not in the sense like, we're not Takartomi, we're not Hasbro. I don't think I'll ever be able to do something on a major scale. That like without stepping on their toes. But I mean, like worldwide, it may be something that can happen, but I'm not completely sure. Um, but as far as I go with the circuit, I know nationally, and hopefully it can become a super big thing. But Dark Continent, it is the fully competitive event. Um I have ranked events, I have FGC events outside of the circuit, out definitely outside of Dark Continent, that people can come and they can play and they can have fun. But for Dark Continent, I want it to be the best of the best. So we're gonna have the circuit in select states, other organizers hosting it, and myself also. And then the top four from each event will get an invitation to the Circuit Dark Continent. So next year, not this year, but next year, the Circuit Dark Continent, well, it'll be a ticketed event. Not too much. I think maybe like $20 a ticket, depending on how much the venue costs, because the venues are never cheap. Even this year, the venue's like kind of expensive, but wanted to do something for community. But going forward, we'll have the venues. It'll be ticketed, but it'll be nice. You have to have an invitation to be able to join. And the idea behind it is, whether you're in Florida, whether you're in North Carolina, DC, if the West Coast wanted to get involved, New York, Ohio, Illinois, um, those states in the Midwest, I think I said Cali, Washington, the top four competitors at a already competitive event get to come here. So everyone at the event is capable of getting into the top four in their local areas. So then they come and they represent their areas, and then you can see which area, which region is truly the best. And that was a focus for it, because a lot of other games are like that, to where you have your regional events, but you want to have something to where you can bring all that together and see like which region is the best. If Canada wanted to get involved, that would be great, and that'd be really fun also. Um, but we gotta see. We gotta see how that goes. But that is the focus for the circuit going forward. I wanted to speak on that. Um, we have all the states. We're doing 7 states at a time, or 7 states. That's what I'm allowed to do, because once again, we have our store. I'm only one person, trying to do the best we can. Hopefully in the future we can get more involvement, but that's also on the community, becoming organizers, more organizers, more people hosting events, spreading the word for Beyblade, because it's only going to be good for everyone. Like, as far as the competitive side goes, it's going to be good for me and everyone else because it's more competitors, greater competition, see some innovations with the meta. Um, and I will speak on that a little bit more. It's just great overall. As far as I just wanted to speak on the meta again because Mike did talk about this in the last podcast. I'm sorry it wasn't uploaded today. Actually, I could say that for a later date. I want to stick to these topics instead of going off on a tangent. All right, so I did that. The last thing I wanted to talk about was for gaming. I know I don't talk about it too much on this show. Like I mentioned it, and I guess I kind of assume everyone that knows about the podcast or knows me knows about the store. When I started out the store, it was on a whim. Something that I wanted to do, something I was interested in. It's something nice, and it's to me, it's grown to something like great and beautiful. Um, I get to do what I love, and I'm involved with it, living what I enjoy, and really, I'm saying all this to say thank you all for your support because the store has grown. We're still a small business, and I don't and won't ever take anything for granted. Like I appreciate everything from the shout outs to every single order to getting to know everyone in the community I've known thus far. Like we get shown a lot of love, and I have appreciation for each and every one of y'all. Um, that helps out, from coming to our events, making sure that they're fun, helping me to organize, as well as helping me to um, judge and things like that. Like introducing yourselves, being welcoming and inviting when I come to places, shouting us out. So whether it's helping with the sales and helping with competition, like I appreciate that so much. And the store is definitely growing, and I hope to definitely be able to be here to continue to get back on the competitive scene as well as competitive prices for Beyblades. Um, yeah, and I just wanted to say thank you all so much for that. And once again, I can't remember if I said it in the beginning or not, but happy Father's Day, happy Juneteenth. I'm really hoping this video isn't too long, so it's not just me talking to myself. But we do hope to bring the podcast back. Shout out to all and everyone that we interviewed. We definitely gonna revisit some of that, some of the people that we interviewed. And if you have any questions, once again, if you want to get interviewed or just want your questions shouted out, um, send myself a message, or you can message Crisis Crusher. Um, yeah. Thank you all so much once again. All right. And keep blading hard. Have fun out there. Take care.